Hola, 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 mi gente. Welcome to a late Friday night on the block with Jen. Tonight we are discussing. First of all, Sorry, guys, no hair tonight. It is storming in Nevada, okay? And I got my hair did. I'm not about to pull it out in this humidity. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're here for the first time, where you been, baby? I missed you. Hi. Hang out for a while. If you are a return offender, welcome. You guys have the chat. That is your spot to talk all your ish to me, okay? And if you want to cam up, please do. Tonight may get heated because we're going to go into the genders a little bit. And I know men think they're always right and women think they're always right? Somebody got to be always right sometime, right? Might as well be me. So tonight we're talking about Ayesha Curry resents or regrets her marriage again. That's how they're spinning it on the interwebs. You guys know that always lovely, handsome. Oh wait, are you? Is it? No, Saint. What are you?
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing out there in YouTube land tonight?
All right, guys. So tonight we're talking about Ayesha Curry was on a podcast. You know, Ayesha Curry's always saying something and always getting dragged for it. Married at the tender age of 22. And she's always going on podcasts and stuff. You know, people are on, what can I say? They just too much info, TMI, too much information, right? People get very used to speaking on podcasts and saying things about their lives, and then people look back and it's like, she said blah blah, and you're like, oh my god, I was just having a casual conversation. So we get comfortable on these podcasts and we say a lot of things about our personal lives, right? Not me, I'm strategic about what I let you guys know because y'all are too nosy, right? So, but Ayesha Curry has had the habit of going on podcasts and saying things that some people say misconstrued, and some people are like, no, that's how she feels. So she was on the Call Me Daddy podcast very recently. It was talking about her marriage. She gave us a lot of information about her marriage. Who said I love you first? What age she got married was 22. She got pregnant 3 months after getting married. So it was very, very fast, right? And she said out her own mouth that she was like shocked because she said she thought married at 22, she thought they were going to be hitting the bars and they were going to be hanging out and they were going to be partying and they were going to be that couple. And the doctor was like, you're going to have to wait about a year for that, right? And of course, like lots of women, right? None of us regret our children, but a lot of women online are being more vocal about, if I could go back, I wouldn't have done it. Right? And a lot of people, again, with the power of social media, telling it like it is. And a lot of people are like, I love my children. I mean, that's a given. No, saying you love your children, don't you? You love your children.
Sometimes.
More honesty, great, more honesty. Everybody loves their children, but I feel like that always has to be like the disclaimer before people say what they really, hey, I love my kids, but if I could do it again, I wouldn't do it that way. It doesn't mean that you don't love your children, right? It doesn't mean that you don't love your children. But a lot of people are saying that they would have done it differently. What's up, Curry? Haven't seen you in a minute, baby.
Well, what's good? What's good? How you doing? How y'all feeling?
Really
good.
Yeah, good.
It's been a minute.
Oh my, it's been a long time. Thank you for spinning the block.
I know.
For spinning the block. I love when people spin the block. Thank you for spinning the block.
Oh, no doubt.
So good to see you. Good to see you. What is this comment here? Shamron on whatever says, I can't really tell what your name is right now, and I don't feel like really digging into it. But says, I don't think Ayesha regrets marriage. I think she regrets that her star is not shining as much as what she wants, and she does not know how to express it. I'll give you that. I agree with that. I think when women get into a marriage, and women are usually the ones that have to sacrifice. So you guys can fight me, please, in the chat. Feel free to come up and fight me on this. But I think women sacrifice more than men do. right? Because men get married, they get comfy, they get the maid, they get the second mama, they get to breed, they get to watch their games, they get to play their games, they get to be men, right? They still get to hang out. Women, no matter what, they have to stay at home with the kids, nurse the kids, do the laundry, take care of the man, take care of the house. She's the manager of the home. And that's not as fun as being a man or being a guy, right? And you guys can fight me in the chat about that. And when a woman suppresses her dreams and her star that she wanted to shine, you know, at 22 years old, she's thinking she has her whole life ahead of her. And then 3 months later at 22, no, now you're a wife and mother. So whatever you thought you was about to do is not about to happen, right? And when a woman is in a relationship, if her man is doing more than her and it looks like more fun, right, and he's making all the money, I think some resentment will set in if she's not achieving what she wanted to. I found out today when I watched the podcast, she wanted to be an actress, right? And then, you know, as you know, she had her little cooking, her little half hour. They offered her a half-hour cooking show before the game locally in her town, and she took that, right? So I saw Ayesha Curry, you know, trying little things to be in the spotlight, you know, but she'll never be Stefan or whatever the fuck. You know, so I'm going to get into more of what I felt she resents or regrets, but I want to hear from the gentleman in the chat and on the panel. What do you think? Do you think that women sacrifice more? Do you think it's, you know, their light gets dimmed more than a man in a marriage? And who benefits more? I say men benefit more in a marriage, but you guys could correct me if I'm wrong. I'm listening.
Take it away.
I guess I'll go. I think overall,
be honest.
I think overall, well, see, now I'm kind of both ways. Well,
give us everything. Give us what you got.
Well, I feel like women benefit. The women that are taken care of benefit a lot to where they don't have to do a whole lot of things and everything's taken care for them. But on the flip side, when it comes to like families and having kids, men benefit a lot because a lot of times the men aren't doing as much work as the women, you know? So it kind of feels like a little depending on the situation, you know? If I was to look at myself, I think when I was actually married, I think it was kind of even. I think it was like kind of like a 50-50 thing, even though she was a stay-at-home mom type of thing. I think we both kind of benefited evenly, really, because it was a real team. That's how, you know.
Every time I hear 50-50, I'm like a cat. Ty Rivera is in the building. What's up, baby? Let me tell you something right now. No cap at all. Okay, I wouldn't be saying Ty Rivera. Okay, the best LGBTQ comedian in the world, has one of the best channels on YouTube. Let me tell you something. One of the best. He has the only channel where I can sit and watch from beginning to end. Otherwise, I'm usually skipping through channels. But please check out Ty Rivera. I can tell you that he's my favorite gay Mexican MAGA love of my life on YouTube. So check him out. So Ty Rivera says she wasn't gonna be an actress. She better be happy with her millionaire husband and shut up. Ooh. Well, Gary, you said women who are taken care of benefit more. Of course, Ayesha Curry is taken care of. Let's just for shits and giggles. And we know that Google isn't 100% correct, but let's just see what give or take Stefan Curry, and you guys may know before me, net worth says here, according to a quick Google, 240 million. Yahoo Sports says he's worth $240 million. That's a lot of taking care of, Kari.
Yeah. But also, I didn't hear the same things everybody else heard. And when I say that, I didn't interpret it how everybody else interpreted it. You know, a lot of people interpreted it as she's not happy. I didn't interpret that at all. I didn't get that whatsoever. I didn't hear her say anything about herself not being happy. I just saw it as that's not how she pictured her life, and shit turned out different. You know?
But you don't think there's some unhappiness when someone says, damn, I didn't think my life would turn out this way? It doesn't sound like a positive.
No, I don't. And I say that because I could relate, because I got married at 23,
Oh, okay. A year older than her.
Yeah, I got married at 23.
Mm-hmm.
And nowhere in prior to that did I picture my life having kids, being married. Like ever since I was a kid, until I got married, my whole picture of life was I was going to be living in some type of penthouse or some shit in Manhattan or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much having a bachelor's life till I'm about 45, 50 type of thing. And I've lived in Florida the past 25 years. I got married at 23. I had 2 kids. Nothing turned out the way I envisioned it, but I wasn't unhappy that my life turned out that way. It was just like, I planned this, but this is how it turned out. I'm not unhappy, but I have thought about, I wonder how my life would have gone if I didn't get married. I wonder how my life would have went if I would have pursued this. But just because I thought those things didn't mean I was unhappy with my life and I didn't want to be married or I regretted it. Okay. It's just, I thought about it. I think it's just natural for most people that get married young to have those kind of thoughts.
Okay, but would you, if you had a time capsule, would you change what you did? Now
that I am divorced, yeah.
So you would change everything, the marriage, the kids, everything.
Not the kids. I would change things if I could keep the same kids, And that's only because I now was married, was happy, things went bad, got divorced. And now I'm like, marriage wasn't the greatest thing, but I didn't regret it until I got separated and got divorced type of thing. It wasn't prior to that,
Okay, well, okay, Curry's okay, Curry. I see you, Curry. I'm not gonna push too hard. Dan, what's up, Big Elvis and Chef Rosenberg says Ayesha's new name is Jada Pinkett. Ouch. With that said, let me break real quick and say I don't have the super chat. So if you want to pay the lady, Cash App on the block with Jen. If you want to hook me up this Friday night, I can't do the super chats obviously because I'm just spinning the block myself and YouTube is being gay. Okay, so what Big Elvis is referring to is, Jada Pinkett is infamous now for being on podcasts and interviews and Red Table Talk, just talking about kind of hinting to how horrible she thinks her marriage is, right? Not in those certain terms, but always downing Will, what we've seen, downing or criticizing Will and saying that she would have done X, Y, and Z. And, she has a very interesting way of talking about her husband publicly. So I'm sure that's what Big Elvis is referring to, where it's now Ayesha is kind of sort of doing the same thing. I would love to hear your take. No Saint before I read this next comment. Yeah.
Well, first of all, they're missing an opportunity if they didn't name her cooking show Cooking with Curry. I think that would have been an awesome cooking show name. That's a gem. You can't make it up. Cooking with Curry. But no, I mean, when you ask me, yeah, sure. I've thought of what my life would have been. I know what my life was like before, and it was a lot easier to do things, especially if you just had just a girlfriend or something, you had a lot more money to spend. I also have said that I think I probably would have been a millionaire if I didn't have a family and kids, because for sure. Right. It's a lot easier. I've already, I've been saving and all that kind of stuff, but having all that money and not having it for a family, it would have been, there's no doubt. I think I could have gotten to be a millionaire, but I get what Kyrie's saying too. It is one of those things where, you don't want to take, it's always hard because you don't want to say, well, I'll snuff my kids' lives out. I mean, they're your kids, So I get what he's saying about, if I could change things, but I wouldn't change that. So you kind of have to be with the same person. You got to be with the woman that you're with to have those kids. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's many people that would say they wouldn't change things in their life because you have more knowledge and you think back and you made mistakes and so. But it's also like you're content too. You're like, okay, well, this is my life, and it's not over yet. And now, you start, your kids get older and you start living a little bit again. But it's definitely, listen, raising kids, we all had kids. We know how it's like. It's not always pleasant and it's not always easy, but it is what it is. As far as she goes, I don't even know what she's complaining about if she's watching the kids, if that's what we're saying, because I'm sure she had a lot of help, so it's different from the people like us raising their kids, from people in that tax bracket raising their kids. They get a lot of help. She doesn't have to stay inside. She can go do whatever she wants. She has help,
Yeah. So she has 4 kids now. She's 4 kids deep. So she's been back to back with their kids. But again, they can afford them. So they could have a squad. If they wanted 10 kids, they could have 10 kids. She's going to have help, nannies, private schooling, et cetera, et cetera. But pain, angst, regret is relative, right? We're looking at her from our tax brackets. So we're like, hey, you can do whatever you want, right? But she's used to that lifestyle. So it doesn't mean just because you're in a certain tax bracket, you're not going to feel miserable and have regrets and whatever, right? In her tax bracket, she's just doing it in Chanel, right? And I could be doing it in Shein, right? But it's still a regret is a regret, right? I think you guys are being nice. I think the real is what Elvis said, fuck them kids, right? We love our babies. But if we could turn time back and we're changing everything, the kids aren't there. Right? They exist, so we love them, and we can't even fathom life without our children. We die for our kids. We will literally give our lives for our children. But yeah, I think it's more what Elvis said. Fuck them kids. No, saying you said something interesting. You said you would have been a millionaire. That's a heavy claim. Okay. So how did your children and your wife stop you from being a millionaire? I would have been a millionaire. Hell of a claim. Why did your wife and children stop that?
Well, I don't want. It's not like I'm putting blame. It just is the way. So it's the way it is, because the amount of money I was making and the amount of money I was spending. I mean, right now, my family has shrunk a little bit, and I don't need you don't need as much money. But I'm just saying, at my coming up, I mean, I'm already, it's not in today's money. It's not even that big a deal. But I'm already halfway there right now in savings. You know what I mean? So I mean, if I didn't have a family or kids and a wife, I could have put so much more into something like that. I could have had a lot more investments, a lot more things. That's why I think I could have been a millionaire, because, yeah. So, I mean, when you have a family, you make different decisions, and you don't, sometimes you have to borrow and all that kind of stuff, things going on, medical, all that kind of stuff. So I just think the price of having a family and it is, you don't think about that. Okay. When you're having kids, you don't think about how expensive it is. And it's just really expensive.
How many children do you have, Jose?
I got 2.
Harry, you got 2.
I have 2. Yeah, they grown now though.
Okay, so after you had the first child, to both of you and anybody in the chat who has more than one, after you had the first child and you saw the money that was being spent and the time that was being taken from your lives, why the fuck did you do it again? Like, is it because you didn't have, this is what I'm going to say. You guys are going to fight me on this. You weren't the mothers, so you didn't understand the burden, the entire burden, because you were just providing. You didn't understand the entire burden of having to be there for a child 24 hours a day, no break, 7 days a week. I think that's why you did it more than once.
Yeah, for me, I'll say this. The second one, we both wanted. So, and that was more of, having a brother or sister for the older. It's not just about that, but I'm sure that had something to play into it. The third one was not, it was the whoops one. That just happened. It didn't just happen. I mean, I know how it happened, but it just was a whoops. But you're right. In this sense, I'm saying my side is I could have been a millionaire. I could have done a lot more things, even though I did a lot of things, but I could have done more. But that's the trade-off, right? For her, you're absolutely correct. I think she took a big, because you got to think like what she could have done if she wasn't sitting home, right? She had dreams. She had things she wanted to do that she couldn't do because and the third one, she did not want the third one. It like set her back. She's like, because she was just getting to where she could be free a little bit. You know, the middle child was 2, and here we go again, right? So there is a heavy price to pay for women as well, especially if you're married to someone who's is still in that tradition. And why wouldn't a man be in that tradition? It's a lot easier when you can go to work, especially in my job. I'm away for 48 hours at a time. You know, it's a lot easier when I can do that than. So yeah, there's definitely a price that a woman pays as well.
Okay. See, now when No Saint first said that, I thought he was kind of implying that he would have came up with the $1 million idea, but without that. But he was talking about just putting money away, and he would have got there. Okay, I get that.
Investing.
Yeah. For me with the kids, I didn't actually. I didn't realize we was trying. You know, my ex told me that we had the conversation about having kids, but I just knew, hey, we married, we're gonna have kids one day. I didn't know we was trying when we was actually trying. She knew we was trying. I thought we were just having sex. You know.
What do you mean by that? Did you think she was on birth control, or your intent wasn't to have children?
Yeah, it wasn't. That wasn't the intent, but
okay.
it was the intent for her. You know, I wasn't against it. I just didn't know that's what we was planning right now. I thought we was just having fun right now, having sex and shit. You know.
Right. So after the first one, financially and time wise, you were like, yeah, I could do this again.
No, I didn't think about it. Actually, I was unemployed when my ex was pregnant with our first kid, you know. So I wasn't even really thinking like, how can I take care of the first one? I was just figuring out how can I make it day to day, you know. So and that was at a point where I was actually teaching myself computers and things like that. So as we had the first kid, I found a job. The second kid, I found a job that paid more. And it's like it just kept progressing type of thing. I didn't plan it. That's just how it turned out, you know. So
I see a pattern here. I see a pattern where it's like, you know, you have a child and then your whole life revolves around keeping that little fucker alive, sending it to school, feeding it, taking care of it. And then your whole life becomes that. And I think that's where sometimes the resentment or the regret, not for you guys, but I'm saying in general, when people do feel like, oh, I wish I would have did something different. I think that's where it comes in. I don't think people realize and some people don't give a damn. Some people abandon their kids, men and women. But you know, I don't think people realize the toll it takes on your soul to keep another human being alive, right? So Shamron or Shamron, I really do want to get your name right, but it's a little complicated. Shamron says, I think Steph is a near perfect role model of an athlete. No baby mamas that I know of. I actually think that with all the fame he has, she has to appreciate that she is in the star life. Okay, so she said that one time, you know, she didn't realize what she was signing up for. She was breastfeeding her child in a car, and one of Curry's fans opened the door and was like, oh, I want to see the kid. I want to see the kid. And she started crying like, what are you doing? I'm breastfeeding my child. And that the fan told her, you know what you signed up for. And she said she was crying, and she said she didn't expect it to be that way. And another thing that's curious to me is she said, you know, Steph is so gracious. He's so gracious. And when I bring him, you know, these issues that I have, he kind of just like, my interpretation, he like, whatever. Like, you worried about that? Like, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not real. The stuff they're saying on this, what she said that he said, the stuff they're saying online is not real. Why are you worried about it? You know what I mean? And he's Stephen Curry. So you can imagine what he's worried about and what's on his mind, right? And what he has to do daily and who he has to be. So of course, he doesn't want to hear about who the hell called her fat or pumpkin head on Twitter, right? He has real things that he's taking care of. And I think that's going to take a toll on the marriage, on top of them 4 kids, and on top of she wanted to be an actress, and on top of she wanted to do her own thing. She also said on the podcast that she didn't even know he was going to get as big as he did. She was the one that had the entrepreneurial spirit. She said she thought she was going to be the one that was going to be out there in front of the fame and the lights and stuff. So I'm sure that's taking a toll on her too, where she's just, you know, I mean, an athlete's wife now. And she's tried to do little things here and there, but it's not working. Do you think that they will stay married, 4 kids in? Do you think she's just complaining and letting off steam and they'll stay married? I mean, Jada Pinkett ain't going nowhere. And she sounds like she hates Will every other interview.
I think they'll last. I think she's just venting, and I think they've actually had these conversations. You know, I think the biggest problem is probably going to be him not understanding things that bother her. You know, because I had that. I to this day I have that problem with women. It's like, why does that little bitty thing bother you this much to where now your whole day is ruined? I don't understand stuff like that. You know, and it's hard for me to say why. It's like somebody cut you off in traffic 6 hours ago. Why is that still bothering you, type of thing? Right. You know, and that's the type of thing I don't understand. So it's hard for me to. So I understand him not understanding, you know, but if I was to be able to give him advice, I would say try to understand, because that's going to be the thing that hurts the marriage the most, is him not being able to understand things about her.
What do you think, No Saint?
First of all, there's another thing we got to talk about with her 4 kids, and she better, I imagine she's got to have help, because a person like an NBA player, man, they are gone all the time. They're either practicing or they're on a road trip or they're playing a game at home. They don't have time. They're hard. So that's a hard marriage in its own. You know, not even talking about she's there with 4 kids. Another thing is, when he ends his career, then they got to get to know each other on a more of a full-time basis. Sometimes that'll ruin a marriage. you're so used to the person being away, you know, or you don't see your wife. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. So I'm not sure. I don't know if they're going to last, because another thing is, when we all know when you first meet, and you're meeting in your 20s like that. I mean, they're 2 different people at that point. They're infatuated. They're in love. You know, that's all great, but that's all gone now. That's all gone. So you come back and now you're a different person. Both of you are different people. You got to get to know each other again. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to make it or not.
How long have they been married now?
That's a good question. Let's see. It says here 13 years. 4 kids in 13 years is a lot. Yeah, 13 years. It's not that long. That's not that long. Like 10 years, like fly. You know what I mean? That's not long to me. You know what I mean? I like 36 years of marriage. 46 is a long marriage. But
yeah, these are the testing years. Yes. These are testing the strength of the marriage, in my opinion. You know, once you pass 10 years, that's okay. If you can last another 10 years, y'all might be able to last the rest of your life. You know?
The first time she was getting dragged, one of the first times she was getting dragged was because she said that, you know, the attention that Steph gets, that she wished she got, basically. Like, she's like, hey, what about me? Like, why aren't people looking at me? Why aren't guys looking at me? You know, the way the groupies look at Steph. And then, she got in a lot of trouble for that. She also sounds like in the beginning, like it went really, really fast. She was like, wow, this is what we're doing. We're getting married. And that his family was with it and her family was with it. And they're like, yeah, this would be great. We love you, blah, blah. And they asked her on the Call Me Daddy podcast, who said, I love you first. And she said, oh, I said, I love you first. Immediately I said it. And he didn't say it back. And she was like, wow. And then he said, let me explain. I didn't say it back because one time I told the woman I love her and I didn't, and I hurt her. So I just want to make sure that I love you before I say it. And she said that she was like, whatever, fuck out of here. You're full of it. So from the beginning, I think she pursued it. You know what I mean? Probably pursued the relationship more than he did. He probably had his life set on basketball. Now, I don't know. You guys can fill me in. I don't know anything about his career, but I was wondering, how did she not know he was going to go pro at age 22?
Well, she might have suspected he's going to go pro. Well, in college, he wasn't as good as he is now. He wasn't shooting threes from half court in college and things like. He wasn't going NBA nuts in college. You know, he was just a good player in college. Then when he got to the NBA, probably like maybe his second, third year, he just started shooting the lights out the place and just never stopped. You know, so he became Steph Curry that we know today. He wasn't always this Steph Curry.
Okay.
You know, so that's why she didn't really recognize what he was going to be when he was in college, because he probably didn't recognize what he was going to be when he was in college.
Wow.
You know, and if you ask Cat Williams, he's the one that inspired Steph to shoot the way he does. he dead ass said that.
Okay, Cat. You was gonna say something? No, say.
No, I mean, he's right. When he came out of college, I don't remember what number he got drafted, but it wasn't like, I don't think he was a sure thing. You know, I don't even know, maybe they thought he was going to be a rotation player or something like that. But yeah, it wasn't like, you know, when LeBron James or Kobe Bryant came out, or Kevin Garnett, where everybody was like, that's the number one player in the draft, you know, and they're going to be superstars. So yeah, so she probably didn't know if she definitely didn't know he was going to be that big. And, you know, and probably didn't think his career was going to be as long as it is, because he's been in the league quite a while as well. So that's probably, you know, but I'm sure she knew he was going to try to go pro. I can't imagine she didn't know that.
Especially because of his family, right?
Right.
Yeah, his dad was a basketball player, Del Curry.
Mm-hmm.
That much I knew. What's up, Black Lexicon? What's up, everybody in the chat? How are you? Don't forget, you can come up if you want to. Tonight, we're discussing Ayesha Curry regrets marriage again, possibly, with question mark. She's getting dragged again for some of the comments she made on the Call Me Daddy podcast. Randy says, if you marry, there should be a discussion between the two about the first year I take the lead to accomplish my goals, and then next year I give my wife the time to achieve her goals. But is that possible for every couple? Some careers, it's like you can't just take a year off.
Right.
You know what I mean? To help your wife do anything, really, especially something like being in the NBA. I don't know how realistic that is. Sweet. It's a sweet sentiment if you guys are like postal workers, but
yeah, it depends on the goals, you know.
Very true.
Like, because I helped my ex accomplish some of her goals, you know, like she wanted to be a stylist and things like that. So she had to go to school for being a stylist, but she was a full-time mom, you know. Mm-hmm. So she would go to school at nights type of thing. And there was a long time where I would be taking care of the kids. I would get home from work, I'm taking care of the kids while she's at school type of thing. And that's kind of like, I took a couple of years to help her with that, you know. Right. And not everybody can do that, really, you know. Not everybody's schedules allow you to take the time to do that.
Right. What's up, Chef Shapino? How are you, darling? Chef says she is prepping her divorce narrative. Children plus multiple years of marriage is an automatic payday. You think she's planning an exit? I don't know. I don't know if she's
I'm hoping for the best for them. I'm hoping she's just venting and giving us her thoughts, because she was asked. The thing that started the questions was, did you imagine having a lot of kids, having a big family?
Right.
And that just brought it back to, I never really thought about having kids. And that kind of just snowballed into everybody saying she's not happy nowadays. I forgot what my point was now.
What's up, Miss Ruth? It'll come near. So Black Lexicon says, after hearing that as Curry, I would send the children to their grandparents for a few weeks, giving the GP $200,000 to look after and love them while Ayesha got her shit together. I think that's an amazing plan, to be honest, because 4 kids deep, with or without help, you're still the mother. You're still responsible for those children. And Curry, because he's on top of the world, you know what I mean? And then the way she said he reacts to what's wrong with her, what's bothering her. Because you're right, Kari, men don't get it. Like I've been through that, where it's like, look, this is bothering me. And men, they're so, analytical, and they're like, if I can't hammer it back in place, if I can't screw it back in place, if I can't glue it back in place, I don't know what to tell you. Right. But it's like, we want to talk about it. We like, no, I want to talk about this and I want you to fix it. right?
Yeah.
Because women, and it's bad. I gotta admit, it's bad. Sometimes women have a covert conversation in their mind that a man doesn't know that we want to have with you before we ask you anything. Like we come into it like, I'm gonna tell him about blah blah blah, and I really hope that his answer is blah blah blah. But a guy doesn't know that. That's not how brains work. You're like, can I hammer it back?
Yeah.
Do I need a star or a flat screwdriver to fit? That's how you guys think. But women, it's like we're kind of like, so when she was saying that, oh, Steph is gracious and he just doesn't understand why it bothers me. I think that's a mistake. I think that's a mistake because she's like, if I can't talk to him about it. And then she says she can't stay quiet. When something bothers her, she was like, she can't stay quiet about it. She has to bring it to him. So
I think that's good that she brings it to him and doesn't let it simmer inside and build up over time. So now, because eventually she's gonna bring something to him, bring it to me one at a time as it comes to you. Don't hold it in until you got a book bag full of shit. And now 6 months later, now you're exploding and talking about things that happened 6 months ago. And I have no clue what the hell's going on because that didn't impact me like it did you. So I don't even remember what you're mad at now because it didn't set a trigger in my mind to memorize you had a problem that day because I didn't know.
Thank you. Okay. I'm that type too. Like when something happens, I'm like, okay, let me bring it. And I always do it with the intent of, I want to discuss with you so we could get rid of it. You know what I mean? So if you're not getting a response from your man where it's like, oh, you're just a dick. Okay, fine, moving on.
Yeah, but that's also why I cut some women off. You're like, okay, you've had 7 problems this week. That's enough for me. I'm sensitive, but I ain't that sensitive, goddamn.
Hey, yeah, that's fair. Randy says she may also be delusional, thinking she's better than what she is in acting or otherwise. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Lucky for her, we got things like Tubi and Zeus Network, and you don't have to be a good actress anymore, right? So she could definitely get some play because of her last name, right? She doesn't even have to be good.
Mm-hmm. Not even that. I think because she's married to Steph and has all of this money and has all of these resources and already kind of feels like I'm already at the top, it's easy to imagine how my life would be without this because I'm already here. It's easy to imagine I can get here again. It's easy to imagine that, in my opinion. Like when I imagine, if I would have done this without being married and tried to do this, I'm still thinking, hey, it's going to be a challenge to get there because I haven't got there yet myself.
Right. Mm-hmm. I don't see it, Elvis. No lo veo. Yeah. So someone mentioned his retirement. Do you think he's retiring soon?
I mean, he doesn't have that many years to go. He's been playing a long time. I mean, I know LeBron's going a long time too, but he's up there. He's not a young guy anymore. More injuries and things like that. I was thinking about what some of the people were saying about the payday she would get, and that is another reason why she could bail, is that she's going to be taken care of. So if she's really not happy, she's not going to be scared to jump because she's got money coming to her. And I would say with 4 kids and all that and not being able to pursue whatever she wanted to pursue, she deserves some of that money.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, I see it. Thank you. Okay, the cash apps are coming in. Hey, baby. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
Buy them smoothies.
No, my phone ain't. Listen, money make me happy, baby. Okay? Bands and make her dance. Bands and make her. Listen. Thank you, Ty.
Was you twerking over there?
Yeah. Thank you, Chef, and thank you, Ty, so much. I appreciate y'all. Cash App your girl on the block with Jen. I ain't been here in a minute. Make me happy, god damn it, so I can get my smoothies. Yeah, so I think when she's on podcast doing this, I think it's dangerous when your woman is complaining about you to other people, right? Mm-hmm. I have this theory, and apparently it doesn't work, guys. I was in a relationship, And apparently this is not the thing. So I think I'm the unrealistic one. And you guys could correct me if I'm wrong. You guys know a million times over, I make fun of people who say, I married my best friend. I married my best friend. We married my best friend, right? A lot of people say that. People even advise you, marry your best friend. Marry your best friend. And I call cap, right? Because people say they married to their best friend, and then their best friend knows more about their actual best friend, their actual BFF knows more about their marriage than their spouse does, right? If the sex was bad that weekend, she's not going to tell her husband. She's going to tell her girlfriend, like, girl, he's off this week. Like, he couldn't even get it up. I don't know what's wrong with John. You know what I'm saying? And the girlfriend and her are going to discuss it, but she's not going to take it to him. But she married her best friend. Same thing with the husband. The husband, she may get fat. And the husband's not going to tell her because he doesn't want to hurt her feelings. So he's going to tell his boy at the bar drinking, like, I don't know, man. You know, Janice she used to be hot, man. She put on a couple pounds and I don't know how to tell her. And then they'll discuss it and he'll get over it. Then those two will come back together, right? And continue a marriage. But they're not each other's best friends. So I was thinking in a relationship, yeah, I could just come to this person and tell them everything, right? But I was literally told you shouldn't come to your partner, your husband with everything. Is that true? That you should have a friend to talk to? You don't have to tell your spouse everything. Is that true? Am I delusional? Is that true? Like, is it relationship, marriages, you don't need to know everything? I don't need to know everything so we could be like this and we could navigate life together?
At 23, I would have said, yes, we need to be best friends. You know, at 48, I'm like, I got a best friend. you know, and it doesn't have to be the person I'm with, because I think that translates better when you're younger, because you have, and I say that because
I can't hear you.
Oh shit! I was talking. Did I? But I muted the whole time.
No. You just muted for a couple seconds.
Oh, okay.
I heard everything you said.
Okay. Then what was the last thing you heard?
You said at 23 you would say yes, but
okay,
now
yeah.
at 40 whatever.
Yeah. Now I don't think that I have a best friend. My best friend doesn't have to be my spouse at this age, because as you grow up, your friends change, your circles change, the way you communicate changes. That's speaking from my own lens. When I was young and first got married and really was in that tight bond of relationship, it was really just, for the most part, just us two. I didn't really have too many friends outside of it that I communicated with on a regular basis, that I would actually share things like that with. So I only shared it with her, But now that I'm older, and I do have friends that I talk with on a more mature level about things that actually bothers me in my life, I don't necessarily have to bring everything to her, because personally, I don't know how to tell a woman that she got fat, or I don't know how to tell the girl that I'm with that, hey, your booty might be a little too little. I might want you to get a BBL one day. I don't know how to say these things, That's hard for me to do. I don't, without them feeling away. I need to get more into like my Larry David bag and just not care anymore type of thing.
Okay, but would you, Kari? I hate you right now, Kari. Would you tell your boy though? Would you tell your boy her booty's too small?
Yeah. I would be like,
didn't you know that when you met her?
Yes.
Oh my God.
But other things kind of made up for, but I don't,
I can't. No, say get in here and please tell me, would you prefer that you and your girl, your wife, whatever, have such a bond where it's like everything that bothers her or stuff that she wants to, she should be your BFF and you should be her BFF because it's safer that way? Or you don't want to hear everything? You want to have your BFF and drink your beers and let her go talk to her girlfriends? Maybe I'm unrealistic.
For some things, no. And here I go again. But before we had kids, it was fun to have her, that would travel or do these little things, together, go have coffee every morning or whatever, sit at the cafe in Portugal when I was there. But yeah, there's some things I don't want to. Yeah, there's some things that, like you said, maybe it's that day he wasn't good in bed or something. You don't want to hear that. You don't you don't want her to say, "Oh, you really sucked," or
I do. I want to know.
Oh, you don't want her.
No,
Listen,
I want to know if I'm bad, so I can make sure I do better the next time.
I'm telling you what, my ex, she would tell you if you ask her, and for instance, if I I wouldn't want to know who she thought her best lover was. I wouldn't want to know that because if it's not me, that's going to be kind of weird. Oh, well, thanks. So there's certain things to me, I don't have to. She doesn't have to be honest.
So you're not answering the babe. Who gave you the best head?
No. No.
I actually got told recently I'm number 3 on somebody's list. She told me I'm number 3, but it didn't offend me too much because the line of profession she's in, I kind of feel like she might do this kind of often,
stripper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a stripper,
Okay, well, yeah, so she has more experience than the average bear.
Right.
And
three's not bad then.
Not bad way at all. She has more experience, and not only that, let me add to it. She's when people have an adult profession, adult entertainment, I feel they're a lot more in tune with their bodies, right? Because that's what they use for work. So they're very much in tune with what works, with what feels good, with what, it's a different woman, right? Than the woman who's a postal worker.
Right. Now, what I didn't ask was 3 out of how many. I don't want that. I don't want that other number. Don't you good with that one?
Right.
Is this like a friend with benefits or like your girl now?
No, we was just friends with benefits.
Okay.
Sound
like great benefits if she's a stripper.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, I mean, you don't want to know how many, but at the same time, I mean, is it 3 or 4? So, I mean, you got to have some idea. Like,
now we've had some conversations. It's definitely more than 3 or 4.
Yeah. So this is interesting. Shamron says, divorce for her might not be a good idea. Steph would probably gain popularity, and then she would feel worse. I don't know. Take it. Where does he live? Los Angeles? Does he live in California?
I think the Golden State.
Yeah, San Francisco's way. Yeah.
Oh, so she would get half. She would automatically get half. It's been over 10 years. That's a great point still, though, because I feel like rest in peace, Kobe. But when he had got into that situation, and people were like, "Oh, Vanessa should divorce him." I was like, "You don't understand. It's way better to be Mrs. Kobe Bryant than Kobe Bryant's ex-wife, right?" I think the same thing with Steph. It's better status-wise, if she cares about status, to be, Mrs. Curry instead of Steph Curry's ex-wife. Who's that? That's Steph Curry's ex-wife. Walking into Neiman Marcus is a little different as Mrs. Curry than it is as, that's Steph Curry's ex-wife. It's just different. People are going to have a different, So I get that. And of course, he's going to be, if they get divorced, Ayesha Curry is pretty, right? Sex appeal 0. Steph Curry, he's going to be like a stake in a den alliance if he gets single. Okay. And it's going to be beautiful women from all over, really beautiful women, not cute. Ayesha Curry's cute, but he's going to have la creme de la creme on his dick if he gets divorced. We already know.
I guarantee you Ayesha Curry got about 10,000 unread DMs of, I can understand what's bothering you.
Yeah, but however, is it because that's Steph's wife or because she's a baddie? I don't think she's a baddie. And you know me, I give credit to the baddies. I think Sofia Vergara is I like Angelina Jolie. There's some women that I really think are gorgeous. Women from back in the day, Sophia Loren, Raquel Welch. I wouldn't put Ayesha Curry in that category with the big round head and the kind of, square from. I just wouldn't. That's not my thing. So do you think they're on her like that? Because she did mention people do reach out to her. You're absolutely right. There were jokes about her DM. But is she getting that attention because she's Steph Curry's wife?
Oh, yeah, actually, that was my point earlier. The attention, and a lot of people are speaking about her wanting attention, but it's like in 2025, damn near everybody wants attention. Everybody's dropping comments because they want attention. They want likes. They want responses to their comments. Everybody wants attention nowadays, So why are we up in arms because she wants attention? Look, I'm here on the stream. I want attention. I'm a Leo. That's kind of in my nature. People tell me, I don't think that's true, but
right.
We want attention. Everybody wants attention. That's the new currency nowadays, attention. So of course she wants attention. And I think it's crazy that people are judging her for wanting attention when they're speaking about it because they want attention for speaking about it, So
touche. Crazy Legs in the building. Icon, legend, Crazy Legs. Yes, that Crazy Legs. How are you, love? He is in the chat. I love when people spin the block. What's up? No saying, look, James Oko. What's up?
Oh, look out.
Everybody's
I remember I was on here one time when he was on here talking. Yeah, he's an entertaining dude.
Yeah, that's the blocks Kanye West. James said the best gift he could give her. Oh, James said the best gift he could give her is some competition. Damn.
You should have a 3-point contest.
Randy Ammon, great question. He says, Jen, would you trade places with her? No. I can automatically say that. No. And people gonna say, she bullshit. He worth 240 million. I've dated millionaires. Listen, I am in no I am in no situation where it's like I can't get to a millionaire. They're always in the DMs. I've dated some of them are in my contacts. It's not as hard as you think to date a millionaire. Oh yeah.
It's pretty hard for me.
All right.
It's pretty hard for me. I'll tell you that.
I hate that for you.
You know how hard it is for me to get a free cup of coffee, let alone date a millionaire. Shit.
Listen. Follow Jen Garcia. My Instagram is popping. Okay. Now they say I got more checks in there than Nike. Okay, I got more blue checks in there.
I've had women don't be jumping in DMs like that, yo.
Nope.
They don't, yo. I do.
I did. Well, I did for an ex. I do.
I've had to tell more gay men I'm not interested in my DMs than women. It's like, no, thank you.
Crazy Lex says shout out to the whole damn chat.
Though I was up in New York the end of the summer, women in New York be shooting they shot like crazy. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I said I do. Like I'm no saint knows I'm a shark. Like I don't play coy. I don't, and that's why I hate when people like come at me, try to holler, because I'm like, trust me, babe, I saw you, and if I was interested, you would have known. Like you would, like right now, you said you would have known. Get them likes for me, please. Hit the like and subscribe. That helps Mama as well. If you're not going to cash at me on the block with Jen Cash App, then get the likes for me, and get them subscribes for me. I don't listen. A lot of women would trade places with her because they're thinking about, the money aspect of it. But again, I've dated millionaires. So it's like, how much money do you need a man to have in order for you to be like, oh yeah, 10 million, he got 250 million, 100 million, 5 million. It's still a lot of money, right? But I'm a very, my level of being a visual creature is on the level with men. I'm a very, very visual creature. And Steph is very beige and very blonde. He's very beige and very blonde. And naked, his dick hair is probably blonde as well. It's just certain things I'm not going to put up with. It's just certain things I ain't gonna put up with aesthetically. I'm not gonna want to look at. I can't picture having a schlong in my mouth and it's just surrounded with bushy blonde hair. I'm a visual person. I'm sorry, I'm a very visual person. Don't want to see the blonde afro on the penis. That's a pass for me. Hard pass. But great question.
So that's the only reason you don't want blonde pubic hair in your face?
No, I don't know. He's just too beige for me. And not only is he too beige, but
She didn't say he's going to be gone all the time, or he's not understanding, or this or that.
He's not even a fine beige. He's just he looks like a giant 5-year-old. You guys seen his face? He looks like a giant 5-year-old. Like he doesn't look masculine. And come on, don't give me this. He's a great.
I kind of picture that little kid that I saw in a video years ago with the tampons. You need this for your butt?
You see? That's exactly who he looks. You know what I'm talking about, Carly. But you do. I saw you in the old house the other day. You know exactly what I'm talking about. See? Y'all looking at me like I'm crazy in the chat. Y'all looking at me like crazy.
When you say he looked like a big 5-year-old, that's the first thing that came to my mind was that kid.
You see? Shamron says, if your husband asks you to go to the gym with him, he probably thinks you're too fat. If your husband is leaving you seconds, he is trying to augment your ass. Get with people you're attracted to. Y'all looking at me crazy talking about blonde afros, but get with people you're attracted to.
True indeed. That's what I say too. Get with people that you're actually attracted to. People ask me, hey, Corey, how do you not cheat on women you're dating? I date women that I'm actually attracted to and like, and I'm completely happy with. That's, There
you freaking go. That's how you got to do it. People are like, the 80-20 rule. Do the 80 of the people tell you not to date. Date that 80%. Because y'all try to be careful, and then you're looking at everything else that walks by.
So let me.
Miss Ruth. Okay, Kari.
Yeah, I just grabbed my pen so I could write down Miss Ruth so I can remember that.
There you go, Kari. You can get you a millionaire. Don't sleep. Marrying a millionaire is different than dating one, though. Marrying anybody is different than dating them. Getting married, period, is different than dating somebody. Period. Randy said, Jen loves the chocolate. God bless America. Salute to you, sir.
That's Americosis.
Americosis, yeah. So what do you guys think? Really quickly, I wanted to get into Cardi B is mid really messy divorce, and she recently claimed that she cannot get divorced because Offset, okay, the ex-husband, soon-to-be ex-husband, is holding her hostage. He wants some of the properties, the homes that they jointly owned, I guess, or she bought. And he also wants her to pay her taxes and court fees. So she's refusing, and she's saying had it not been for him wanting those things, she would have been signed the papers. What do you think about that? Do you think he's being a simp? Do you think he's being petty? Do you think he should take his big grown ass on and use his rap money and leave her house, whatever house he's talking about, and the taxes, he should pay his own taxes and his own baby mama child supports and his own court fees? What do you guys think about that? Chat, let me know what you think.
On one side, I'm saying he got bread and he should be able to take care of the shit himself. But on the other side, it's like, you know what? Because they were married and all of the drama and bullshit that they went through actually contributed to her financial gain.
Really?
Yeah. That kept her in the news, kept in the blogs, kept people focused on and thinking about what she's going to do, what she's going to say. She drops an album. They want to know what she's going to say. I think her breaking up with him is a lot of the content on the album. There's like 3-4 songs just pretty much about their relationship. So he can say, hey, if it wasn't because of this relationship that's now total shit, you wouldn't be at the level you're at. That's an argument he had. He could have.
Wow. So you're saying that the drama that they had
contributed to her rise.
Really? Ew, the lady.
I think so. That's an argument that can be had.
Okay. No saying, should she pay and get the hell on with her life?
Well, yeah, she should pay. I think she should pay. I mean, you know, the laws are the laws, and one thing when we see, you know, we always say, well, he's got his own money or he's got enough money, but it never fails that the people that are really wealthy don't see it that way. Like the wife that divorces the billionaire husband and she's getting, you know, $50,000 a week and it's not enough. You know, you're like, what do you mean it's not enough? You know, it's a lot of money, $50,000 a week. You know, but
not when you're used to 100.
Right. So I mean, but yeah, I mean, she should. She's got to pay up, just like, you know, just like the reverse, just like you like to mention, Jen, the ex-husband of Jennifer Lopez. You know, he got paid. The one that got paid.
Jennifer Lopez paid, I think, close to $14 million for her second husband, Chris Judd, who was a background dancer. So that means, you know, he had no money. Was married to her around about 2 years, divorced. She paid him $14 million. So basically, the man got paid $14 million to smash Jennifer Lopez for 2 years. That's a hell of a deal.
Damn.
That's a hell of a deal.
That's a come up for your ass.
Oh, he has women. Listen, they talk about women coming up all the time. I'm like, how dare you forget Chris Judd? $14 million to smash her for 2 years. 2 years. That was his job. He got paid $14 million to smash Jennifer Lopez. Ain't no come up like that.
Mm-mm. Well, but also listen to her complain, because you know she complained a lot.
Well, that's true. Thank you so much, Miss Ruth, for the cash app. You cash at me on the block with Jen. Get your girl a smoothie. Thank you for supporting me. You guys know I can't do the super chat. Yeah, 14 million.
And then once she hits that lotto, she'll be able to support me.
There you go, Kari. So I think she should pay. Okay, she's worth a whopping now. Cardi B is worth now a whopping. I was shocked. And again, you know, with Google, you have to give or take a couple million, right? But according to Google, it says 100 million.
Oh, God damn.
That's what it says. And then another one says she's worth 80 million, right? And it says Offset's estimated net worth is about 40 million. If you believe, you know what I mean, Google, you got to give or take, right? So if I were her, this is not the hill I would choose to die on. If I was worth 80 or 100, I'd want him the fuck out of my life. So
how much is he asking for actually? Like, how much is it actually worth that he's asking for?
That I don't know. She didn't divulge that information. She was on the podcast and she said that she would have been divorced for all the people telling her, oh, you pregnant and you're not divorced yet. So she said, oh, let me tell you why I'm not divorced, because he wants me to pay his taxes. So I don't know what his taxes are, and I don't know the worth of that house, what the house is worth that he wants. But $80 million, whether she's worth 80 million or 100 million, not only that, but her potential to earn more millions annually, I would have cut him the check and got rid of him. I would have cut him just to get rid of him, to get rid of him. And, now she's pregnant by the basketball player, right? Football player.
Stephon Diggs.
She's pregnant by him, who has multiple children.
Which is crazy. That's crazy.
And now it's rumored that he swings both ways. He's bisexual. Some people are outing him for that. I don't understand why Cardi got pregnant so quickly. Now she's going to have 4 kids. And this guy, I just don't know. But if I were her, I would cut Offset loose because of my earning potential. She's still Cardi B at the end of the day. Now, I don't know what the taxes are. I don't know. I don't know if it's something absurd. I don't know what the taxes are, but he wants her to pay for the taxes, the court fees, and he wants one of the homes.
Now, so Google says he makes about $8 million a year.
Wow.
So whatever the taxes are on $8 million.
Interesting. So do you think she should cut him loose, Ija?
Do I think she should cut him loose?
Yeah.
Yeah, she should pay it and dip out. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would too. I agree, Tova. She needs to stop having kids. Gross. Yeah, I don't understand why the, that was crazy. But she has the money. I guess when you're in that tax bracket, you don't see having kids as detrimental as you do when you're working a regular job.
Yeah.
Randy says Offset is whack trash. So Randy, do you not think that? So you think she shouldn't pay him? She should fight in court? I just look at Cardi like this. Since we've known Cardi since Bloody Moves, I got bloody moves. Ever since that, look at Cardi. Ever since that woman has been in court every 1 to 2 years. Whether it's someone's charging her criminally for violence, or whether she's suing somebody, or when somebody's suing her, it's like back to back to back. And now you're in court again for the divorce. Like, this woman has more court dates than albums. It's crazy to me. We've known her in court for girls getting beat up with bottles in a bar, in court with Tasha K, in court for the security guard suing her for cutting her face, in court for it's like, I don't know how she does it. I don't get it. But with that said, James is asking, if she shares Stephon Diggs, does that make him the prize? If she shares Stephon Diggs, does that make him the prize? I would say whoever's being shared is the prize, no? I would say he's the prize. If he's the one that has a harem of women and they're all on him, then yeah, obviously he's the prize. Right?
Yeah.
Sounds like it. Sounds like it.
Right? It's the same thing with Neo walking around with them 4 girls. Them girls are hit. Like them Curry, I'm like, that can't be the only thing that your money. You got money. Neo got money. Neo got long money because he's written for everybody.
Yeah, he got
That
bread.
That can't be the best his money could buy. That can't. But then
I haven't examined them like that to be able to eat.
Oh my God, Curry, no. You're gonna be like, no, these are the bitches you get before money. No. And it's funny because he was on a podcast and he was saying, he was on Jada and Joe. I love that show. He was on Joe and Jada and Joe.
Mm-hmm. J and J.
Yeah, and he was saying that they were asking him, how do you do it for women? How do you do it? He was like, well, you just got to get women that don't want a bag. Don't they all want a bag? And Neo was like, nah, you got to get women that don't want a bag, and they do it. And I was like, yeah, I could tell they don't want nothing. Like, I could tell they don't want nothing.
That just sounds like a super headache to me.
Yes, like they
all women.
Yeah,
that sounds like a super headache.
Yeah.
I dated this woman that dated women, and she was like, yo, women are pains in the ass.
Number 1 domestic violence rates, lesbians.
Yeah.
Number 1, they're the top.
Yeah.
Domestic violence cases, lesbians. So you ain't Okay, guys. So that was the show for tonight. I'm out of here, not doing 2 hours. I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. Everybody that spun the block today, y'all make me so proud. You give me warm and fuzzies. Kari, thank you for coming up. You always have great perspective, and you fucking funny. I'm gonna clip some of the shit we said tonight. Thank you so much for the Cash Apps. Again, hit that like and subscribe for Mama. If you're watching this on a replay, Cash App on the block with Jen if you want to send me a little something. Follow Jen Garcia. It is lit over there on my Instagram. Follow Jen Garcia. Okay, a couple of my little dancing videos have gone viral.
You know, I think I'm gonna go to a strip club and see my friend.
Sounds good.
Go ahead, Kari. Thank you, YouTube Press. Thank you so much for spinning the block, and we will see you next Friday. We're on every Friday. Follow Jen Garcia so you could keep up with me. And good night. Love
Good night,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
One.